So I'm like, surely that's just basketball. And they're like, no, it's handball.
Oh,
and I'm like, well, the basketball's with your hands, but it's a different thing. So we don't talk much.
Oh wow! What a story!
What a tale!
What a
And
tale!
speaking of tales, I hope yours are between your legs, gentle
Why?
listener, because it's time to get jiggy.
I don't see the correlation.
Neither do I. Unless they're being irritated like cats, and then that tail between the legs will puff out, and it'll look like they've got a furry wang.
And they'll also go really close to the ground.
Ooh, meats. But more on that later. Welcome everyone to Big Damn Cast episode 63! Quick, we've got 6 weeks to come up with a dirty blowjob joke.
Oh no.
I am a vintage Twilight Zone action figure, still in box.
I've got something in my eye and it's really bugging me.
You do, don't you? Do you want me to have a look at it?
No, I'm okay.
I'll pour this tea into it.
I'm okay, I'm good. I don't want you going anywhere near my eye. I don't know where your hands have been.
I didn't say I was going to use my hand.
Oh no!
We've got stories and stuff to talk about.
We have. We've got, well, it looks like Warner Brothers are after another star for another Joker in another movie.
In another life, in another universe.
Inhumans has arrived on IMAX. We've not seen it, but other people have. Everyone's favourite DC superhero is getting their own rollercoaster at Six Flags. We've got some casting news for the live-action Titans series, which is apparently still happening.
I know,
Some
right?
developments from Han Solo, and of course, our usual Rick and Morty corner, and your emails. Also, there's something on my show notes that just says, DearDavid?
Yes,
So
we'll
I guess-
get to that.
I guess we're going to be talking about that. But first, so, as I'm sure you all know, we've talked about the idea of there being a Martin Scorsese-produced Joker origin movie that's its own thing and not connected to the Jared Leto Joker from Suicide Squad, and because Warner Brothers wants to do movies
release me,
that also
let me go.
that also aren't connected to other movies they've done, despite trying to build a cohesive cinematic universe, but they're going to confuse the market further by releasing movies. Anyway, according to the Hollywood Reporter, Warner Brothers want Leonardo DiCaprio for their Joker origin movie.
You know the origin movie about a younger Joker.
Yeah.
Now, I know Leo is known as baby-faced Leo.
He's a good-looking man, and he's kept his looks as he's got, but he's got to be, what, knocking 40?
I think he might be mid to late 40s. By
Mid
this
to late
point.
40s? I'm
Yeah.
going to check that.
Let's take a bet on Leonardo DiCaprio's age. I'm going to say 47.
I'm going to say 39.
Okay. Actually, oh no, do you know what? 39 is probably closer, because in the 90s when he was a heartthrob, he was in his late teens, early 20s.
He is...
Damn it, I think you've won this one.
He is 42.
Oh!
He is 42.
The answer to the life, the Leo and everything.
The life, the Leo and everything. So yeah, the project's still not been confirmed. However, reports state that they're still trying to get Martin Scorsese to sign on as producer. Todd Phillips from The Hangover in line to direct, because who else would you get for a gritty crime movie about the Joker?
Again, like gritty crime movie. He's meant to be a clown. Just do some clown shit.
According to the Hollywood Reporter, Warner Brothers wants DiCaprio or another A-lister to play the Joker as a gritty crime boss in a Scorsese-esque Gotham underworld.
So that's not that different from what they're doing with the DCEU Joker then, because he's meant to be emphasis on meant to be a gritty crime boss, as opposed to a clownish supervillain. You know, that thing that makes the Joker appealing and watchable. Let's just get rid of that.
No, what would make it really appealing and watchable to audiences is telling the story of how he became the Joker. Because that's really what people want to know about this guy. We want to see how he got those scars.
To play Nicholson's advocate, the 1989 Batman movie is basically that. It's a movie about the Joker being created.
And it's great.
But that's because it's not about the Joker per se. They didn't go in going, we're going to tell the story of the Joker. They went in going, guys, we've got a Jack Nicholson vehicle, and we're going to take advantage of it.
Yes.
Plus, Tim Burton is completely disinterested in Batman and only cares about the villains.
Tim
But it
Burton is
works.
completely disinterested in most things.
Like, it is a gritty crime thriller that's also camp and stupid and gothic and other things. that are all written on my CV.
Suffolk.
And just it's Suffolk. It's it's like it's daft. But the thing is, like, he's a mobster. He's a mobster. That's the closest you can get to making the Joker a mobster.
Yeah,
without it diverting too far from what makes him appealing as a clown, as a supervillain, and all that stuff.
He's the number one guy. So yeah, I mean that is
this
that
town needs an enema.
They're just looking to make. It sounds like they're just looking to remake half of Batman '89 with all the humour sucked out.
Yeah,
which is,
and I'm giving out free money.
I don't want to watch.
And where is the Batman? He's at home washing his tights.
He doesn't wear tights in that movie. He wears leather pants.
Yeah, but he's taken off his mask. It's time for you to take off yours.
Oh God,
that's the thing. If you want to watch this movie, if any of you are remotely sort of like, oh, I'm going to Scorsese like Joker gangster movie. If any of you are excited by the idea, go and watch the 1989 Batman, and you'll get everything you want. You'll get everything you want, and it'll also still be a Batman movie.
Yeah.
Featuring the Joker as opposed to whatever this is going to be.
And
in another life, Leo playing the Joker? Okay. In another circumstance? Cool. Had the Joker not appeared in the DCEU yet, for example?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially considering he already has built-in chemistry and work experience with Margot Robbie.
Yes.
So, yeah. It sounds to me, we said this when we were going through the show notes before, I said to you, this sounds to me like a Warner Brothers exec has basically gone, I've noticed online, in all these, when people do like top 10 who should play the Joker polls in over the years.
I read a website.
In recent ones, they've gone like, oh, like Leonardo DiCaprio, because in Wolf of Wall Street, he's basically sort of playing the Joker if he were a businessman.
I was on the MySpaces and somebody posted a link to an article on this new thing called the Blob that,
yeah, I couldn't share it because I was on my Bebo, you see.
that young whippersnapper Leonardo DiCaprio, he should go straight into playing the Joker.
Wait a second, is he the one who made the flying bicycle and the naked man on the drawing in the circle?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll take so.
That's all Hollywood execs.
Pretty much.
Old crusty white dudes who have the finger so far off the pulse that you could declare them legally dead.
But hey, they're in charge of making movies, so good luck to them, you shits! It just sounds like they've got Wolf of Wall Street work, we'll get Scorsese and DiCaprio involved, and do that sort of stuff, you know. It's a skeleton of a good idea, but it's dead on arrival.
But wait, DC aren't the only one making cinematic marketing faux pas.
What?
Marvel, in their infinite wisdom, decided to put 2 episodes of network television on IMAX.
Now, to make it clear,
we haven't seen this yet.
If you knew that going into watching the Inhumans, I think you'd be a little more braced, but also thinking, why is this in IMAX? Just a normal screening would be sufficient. If it's in IMAX, they must have really pushed the boat out on the opening, and there must be some big ass visual effects.
Not from the accounts that I've read of this cinematic presentation. I think. So here's the thing.
Nice to meet you, Ben Grimm. I'm Christopher.
Go away. We're not talking about you because Fox still have the rights.
Okay.
So here's the thing.
There he goes, back to Yancey Street.
Yeah, fuck off you. The Inhumans, no matter how much they're trying to make them happen,
they ain't happening.
The Inhumans are never going to happen.
No. Now, technically they have happened. They exist.
Yeah.
In the 60s and the 70s.
But they've never been popular.
They're not the X-Men.
And even throwing like really good creative teams and some real clout behind them, as Marvel have done in the last few years, they're just not. They're not going for it. Like they're not landing. Which is why, as soon as Ike Perlmutter got his daft, sexist, out of touch nose out of Marvel's movie business, Kevin Feige went, yeah, we're not doing that one anymore, and demoted it to TV. Unfortunately. Again, having not seen this, only going off the reviews that I've read, which are from people who I tend to agree with.
Yeah. Cite your sources.
Unfortunately, Movie Bob and The Weekly Planet.
Fair enough. Did you grab that gem?
I did grab that gem.
Did you get yourself a loot crate?
I grabbed that gem, and I put it in my loot crate.
Nice.
And then I did another thing. Mice.
Did you wonder, like, if your handle is Movie Bob, where are your movie reviews?
Where are movie reviews?
How much longer does he have to tell people that?
Forever.
All the
people
time.
Are stupid. Anyway. Unfortunately, they put Scott Buck in charge of the...
Not Scott Buck!
Who's Scott Buck?
In charge of the show.
Wait a minute. I think this guy's directed some stuff, hasn't he?
He's directed some bits and pieces, but he's also been a showrunner for Marvel before.
Right, now, which show did he run? Oh god, no. You're gonna say it, aren't you?
The first season of Iron Fist.
Oh, titty biscuits!
Which was bad.
Dog shit?
Yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah.
So it seems like a lot of the same...
approaching
problems present in Inhumans, like a poorly defined mythology, no character motivation, unlikable central characters, just, stuff.
Assholes.
Things happening for no reason. And again, from what I've heard of it, it seems like there's no reason for it to be on IMAX. I don't know if I'm going to check it out on IMAX, because I don't think I want to spend money to see 2 episodes of television on a fucking IMAX screen.
Fair play.
I just don't know if I want to do that.
Now, if it was an average screening, and like the screening of the 2 episodes maybe came with features of some kind or something, like that'd be worth it. That'd be worthwhile. Maybe like a short, maybe like a Marvel one-shot or something. Considering this is set in the Marvel TV universe and everything, like which has Shield and Ghost Rider. Like a Marvel one-shot with Ghost Rider maybe would be nice. That'd be a selling point for me if they were like, come watch the Inhumans, and it's 2 episodes, and it's preceded by a 7-minute Marvel one-shot short film about a new little short Ghost Rider story. I'd be like, oh shit, because then you'd also be reminding the general public who don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., hey guys, Marvel have Ghost Rider back.
Oh yes.
You may have missed it because no one's fucking watching the show, but they have Ghost Rider back. Hot Toys have now released the Ghost Rider figure based on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
So you now have physical evidence in the most shallow, plastic, solid way imaginable. Ghost Rider's part of the MCU.
Ghost Rider is part of the MCU.
Why can't we tell stories about Ghost Rider? Oh wait, Inhumans? Alright. Fair enough. The thing is, Inhumans, like, the basic premise of the show could be interesting. Game of Thrones on the moon, and a bunch of them come down to our world to hide.
It's not a bad idea,
Like,
really,
magic Game of Thrones on the moon, royal family hide on Earth. Cool premise, bro.
Yeah, I can see the appeal.
And there is stuff you could do, like, you could just do an Inhuman show set entirely within their world, is it Atalan?
Yeah.
You could set it completely within their realm.
On the blue area of the moon.
Yeah, it's just have a kingdom on the blue area of the moon. Just set a story
that's what Atalan is, yeah.
But just do a 6-episode mini or 5-episode mini about basically mutant Game of Thrones on the moon. I'd watch the shit out of that, and then your tag at the end of it is Lockjaw sends one of them to Earth.
But in this, apparently, it's all like, oh, there's loads of Inhumans on Earth, we better save them so they can come and work in our mines.
Yeah, because didn't Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. cover stuff about the Terrigen Mists and basically prove that, yeah, you don't necessarily get cool superpowers if you are an Inhuman. Yeah, you might just be slightly odd. Yeah. You're a bit odd.
Or you might be a straight-up monster.
For God's sake.
Or you might turn into a dog who can teleport. I don't know. I don't know if Lockjaw is a dude who turned into a dog or a dog that underwent Telegenesis. I don't know.
Doesn't it say so much?
I don't know.
Because surely, because basically the whole Terrigen Mist thing and all that angle is the plot of in Humanity.
Yes.
Just do that. That's your Inhumans introduction. Do a 2-part. Big-ass TV movie, 2.5-hour episodes, so 3 hours total, about them learning about the Terrigen Mist S.H.I.E.L.D. shit, make it a S.H.I.E.L.D. crossover to a degree, and just do monsters on Earth.
Well, that's the whole reason that...
And then cut to Luke Cage in Harlem beating the crap out of a monster man.
The whole reason...
And I'll jizz everywhere.
That they did that.
Yeah. in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. laid the groundwork.
No, no whole reason they did Inhumanity and things like that.
Was to try
so they could lay the groundwork for them in S.H.I.E.L.D. and then lead that into a movie. It's all all the comics are now really is the kind of marketing for the movies.
They're reactive.
Yeah.
And retroactive. Yeah.
They're retroactive and also a test bed for new ideas.
That's perfectly worded. I was going to say, because like over the 2000s, what the comics did was they would do story beats that would twin up with the films.
Yeah.
So that when the films came out, if curious punters went to comic book stores, they would see similar stories to what they've just seen in the cinema and pick it up. Which I always thought was a really dumb move, because, yes, I've just watched Spider-Man fight the lizard. Do I really want to read that again straight away? Now, variant covers maybe, good idea, absolutely, get people hooked and whatnot. But, whereas they've changed this over the last 5 or 6 years and made it more like you say, they're going, let's see what people think about this. Oh, they like it. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it, fam. Is that pretty much why Captain Marvel got a Marvel Now title? Because they were just like, let's see if Carol really is popular at the moment enough to hold her own book completely.
I think they just need to publish a Captain Marvel title.
Does this tie into the whole, like...
Quite possibly.
Captain Marvel, Miracle Man,
but
legality stuff? Yeah, because it was around the same time, wasn't it, as it all being in the air
But then
again.
it gave them that opportunity to go, okay, well, let's take this female character who's been, like, sidelined and sort of...
Has a big fan base, but it's sort of, never had her own platform.
And it really worked, like, by all accounts, so...
I like the first story arc. I sort of got a bit bored in the second, but I really like the first story arc.
Yeah.
And it's right there. It's, Kelly
DeConnick,
yeah.
But it doesn't preclude them from telling good stories. That's the good thing about the way they're doing it. DC, on the other hand, is way more divorced from their movie.
Which I think any separation they can have from the DCEU side of things is probably for the best.
Well, from what I'm reading at the moment, which is not a great deal, but from the comics I'm reading at the moment, I think this is the first time in a while that I think DC are putting out more consistently good titles every month than Marvel are.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So
Marvel are doing a lot of gimmicky stuff at the moment. I'm on the fringes. I'm only really collecting, as the trade's coming out now, Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which I'm really enjoying.
I'm reading Defenders.
But like I see adverts like Edge of Venomverse, and I'm like, why? Yeah. Why? What is they going to do? Venomverse? Why?
I don't know.
Why?
Because Spider-Verse.
Yeah, but why?
Because Spider-Verse.
Yeah, but why?
I am reading Defenders. I'm reading Jessica Jones.
How are they going, by the way?
They're both really good.
Are they both Bendis?
Both Bendis.
Okay. Getting to play with his baby, basically.
Yeah, well, Jessica Jones is Bendis and Gaydos, so it's the Alias team together again.
I want to reread Alias now.
And Defenders is Bendis and David Marquez.
Oh, okay.
So it's a gorgeous looking book.
Yeah.
And that's kind of all I'm reading from Marvel, actually.
With DC, you're tucking in.
DC, I'm reading Batman.
You're tucking in, son.
But I'm only regularly reading those 3 books.
Yeah.
But I'm keeping an eye on everything that's coming out. So,
Did you hear that, everybody who keeps doing the whole Marvel shill bullshit? There you go.
Yeah, there. I think there's more good. I think DC have done really well with Rebirth, and I think there's more good DC books out there at the moment than Marvel books.
Now we're balanced.
On the subject of DC's quality.
Oh dear, we're going back down.
Oh. So they're expanding their Six Flags attraction with more superhero themed roller coasters.
Yeah, now they've been quite successful. They've got stuff with a bunch of really high end animatronics there. Like they've got a thing called like Escape from Gotham or something like
Justice League Battle for Metropolis.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, because I've seen they had a Cyborg and a Joker animatronic that were made by this company that are really, really high end and creepy looking. And yeah, like kind of funky. But obviously with Justice League coming out toward the end of this year, don't know if you noticed, all the toys are already everywhere.
Oh yes,
and no one's freaking buying them yet because they don't know what any of the characters are like, and also the characters sound ridiculous. Check our Twitter for a video.
Yes,
but yeah, it's
I bring justice from the deep.
Oh god. But there's that. So. Perfect time to like expand and be like, hey guys, we know like we're not Disney and Universal, we're not like submersive parks, we're the ones with just really cool thrill rides.
Thrill Rides is I think Thrill Rides is in this article at least 3 times.
But like they've got, Star Wars Land's going to be opening up and Disney and everything, and Disney in California, the Hollywood California Adventure is starting to expand a bit more. It's going to basically become like Marvel Land in one section and everything. They've got the Guardians ride. But hey, who's excited for Justice League, Mother Truckers? Cool, because we got an announcement for you!
Coming!
Oh.
Late spring 2018.
Oh, man.
Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey.
New Jersey!
Cyborg Cyberspin.
What?
Cyborg Cyberspin is planned to take riders as high as 70 feet in the air in an over-the-shoulder harness grouped at 24 per vehicle.
Wait. Sorry, I thought I misheard you there. Well, it's a Wonder Woman ride, right?
Six Flags leads the industry in thrill ride innovation. It is part of our DNA, said Neil Thurbin, Six Flags Park president.
Cool.
Six Flags Great Adventure is
really
home to an unparalleled collection of record-breaking attractions, and we are excited to be adding Cyborg Cyberspin, the first of its kind in North America.
Cool, like a Batman Dark Ride, yeah?
Like the superhero Cyborg of the Justice League.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
This futuristic high-tech ride will be unlike anything our guests have ever seen or experienced before.
Like an Aquaman under the sea thing would be amazing.
The perfect new thrill ride to expand our new Metropolis section.
They are really banking on people giving a shit about Cyborg.
They really want people to like Cyborg.
Right. Bit of background. If you're talking to me about the Teen Titans cartoon Cyborg, the 2000s cartoon, I'm all there. Love him. Absolutely love him. Booyah all day. Absolutely love him. Any other medium, I find that character nauseatingly dull.
Yes.
And he's never made exciting. I think DC, even if all the material leading up to Justice League, it's almost like they're relying on you just being amazed at a half-man, half-robot.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it takes for you to be like, oh my god, it's like,
well, more like
Iron Man's a man in a robot. This guy is half-robot.
More like a 1/5 man.
Yeah.
4/5 robot.
They're banking on everybody just being blown away by that alone.
Here's the thing, right? I get that the Justice League needs to be more diverse.
Absolutely,
I agree.
Absolutely.
Cyborg is fucking dull.
Yeah.
Like, bring in John Stewart Green Lantern, bring in Jessica Cruz Green Lantern, bring in, I don't know, just make up some new heroes, bring in Black Lightning, who gives a fuck? Like, Cyborg is dull, man. It's really boring.
I mean, make him more like the Titans cartoon, even. Just make him like that.
You know what I really hope happens?
He's a dude who's been hacked to pieces violently, and it's like is in this machine thing, and it's horrific. I mean, the first time we meet him in the DCEU is half his torso screaming in a freaking zip file. Like, all you need to do is just make it so that he's not grimdark and horrible and bored and cold.
You know what I really...
Make him fun.
You know what I really hope happens?
Go on.
I really hope that we go to see Justice League, and we come out of it and go, you know what? I thought Cyborg was really cool in that. I thought they did some really interesting stuff with him. Yeah. And I think...
That movie was gash, but Cyborg, he was pretty cool,
and I think they've made him a really interesting character. That's what I hope happens.
It's not gonna happen.
But we'll see. But he's getting his own ride.
That's like saying, guys, we're opening up the brand new Avengers section at Disneyland's California Adventure. We've already got, as you know, Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, and outside the ride, I don't know if you know about this, outside the ride, in one of the flower beds, there is like a massive metallic hatch to what looks like an underground passage with the Avengers A emblazoned on it. And people were like, what's that about? And then some people realised that the first time you see that, unless you walk over to that flower bed, is when you're exiting Guardians Mission Breakout. It's a closing credits scene. It's there to tease that more is coming. And they have announced, yep, more is coming. Disneyland's California Adventure is going to get an expansion in the near future based around the properties of Marvel heroes. This would be like them saying, guys and gals, guys and gals, we've already got Guardians, like these guys have already got the, Metropolis thing. Yeah, guys and gals, we've got Guardians Mission Breakout. Coming up next, we have Malekith's face painting booth. Come on over. You want to look like a dark elf? We'll make you look like half one. Come on over.
We've got the Inhumans experience.
You can pose next to a cardboard cutout of Curse. It'll be great. Come on over. It's just like Cyborg, really. Now, if it was a Teen Titans ride, And Cyborg was part of the makeup of it in terms of the tech. Do you know what I mean? If they made it a Teen Titans, you're at least banking on nostalgia for the teens who grew up watching the cartoon.
Yeah.
The adults who grew up reading the comics in the 80s and 90s particularly. And the people who desperately, desperately want there to be more Titans-based stuff like Young Justice. And also the tiny kids who like Teen Titans Go. Like, you could bank on an audience. That way, you get Cyborg, and you can make him front and centre for the ride. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you also make sure you get Beast Boy, Raven, Starfire, and Robin in there, and people will be off their tits on happiness. Cyborg the Ride! Oh, God.
Well, I mean...
Hey, Matt, we've got some exciting new ice cream flavours. We've got vanilla and honeycomb. Yeah, you want vanilla and honeycomb?
Love vanilla
We've
and
got
honeycomb.
tropical fruits. We've got mint choc chip.
Ooh.
Hey, we've got rum and raisin. And
Oh,
just for
like
you,
rum raisin, yeah.
just for you, bit of bird shit. Drop a bit of bird shit.
Cheers.
Drop some bird shit ice cream.
Thanks.
Drop some bird shit ice cream, Matt.
Yeah.
We're making a bird shit ice cream emporium. Would you like it? Would you like the bird shit ice cream emporium? Let's do it. Cyborg the Ride, coming to Six Flags, late spring 2018.
Okay. I mean, if you want some more Titan stuff, you are in luck.
Oh, be still my beating turds.
Because, as I don't think we've mentioned this before, but
Ooh.
there is a Greg Berlanti, Jeff Johns produced live-action Titan series in the works.
Yeah, now, this isn't part of the CW series,
It's going to
is
be
it?
on
It's-
DC's proprietary streaming app in 2018.
Oh.
So not
So
Warner
no one's
Brothers,
going to watch it.
Not Warner Brothers.
No one's going to watch it.
DC.
No one's going to watch
Are getting
it.
their own proprietary streaming app. They're not doing a Marvel Comics Unlimited competitor
No.
and offering the comics for streaming.
Which is probably what DC fans would desperately love to have access to.
But no, they're doing the the TV streaming thing because everyone wants to get $7.99 to death.
Oh, God.
But
$7.99! Oh, God, no, not again! $7.99! Please, no, $7.99! Death of 1,000 cuts.
they have already cast Starfire and Raven.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, so we're getting
Oh, yeah, I believe we brought this up a while ago.
Tegan Croft as Raven, who I don't think I've seen in anything. She's got exactly 3 credits. One of them is Titans.
Pull
She's
it,
been home and away, and she's in something called the Osiris Child, whatever that is. I don't know.
Not the Osiris Child, that's my favourite thing I just heard
idea
of.
what it is. Anna Diop is playing
Not Anna
Starfire.
Diop.
Anna Diop. Again, I don't know what she's from, what she's been in. She's got a lot more credits. She's got 18 credits.
Holy
Have
shit
I seen
nuggets.
any of these things that she's in? I don't believe I have.
So we've got Raven and Starfire.
Raven and Starfire.
Have we got a Beast Boy?
We've not got a Beast Boy.
Yeah, we won't get a Beast Boy, because that'll cost money.
No.
I'll tell you that for now.
We'll
We'll have a toned-down Cyborg.
We won't probably.
He'll
Won't
have
get a Cyborg.
he'll have like a USB jack and a pair of red
We
sunglasses.
probably won't get a Cyborg.
No, we will, but he'll be heavily disguised. They'll have like a hologram to make him look humanoid. They'll come up with some bullshit like that.
Oh god.
They'll be like, he's got a hologram around him, like a veil, so he just looks like
No, they won't.
what's the character called? Ray. Victor. The Victor
Victor Stone.
Yeah, Ray something's the actress who plays him.
Ray
Justice
Fisher.
League. That's it. Yeah. So he'll have a hologram, so he looks like Victor Stone. It'll be based on like photographs and video footage of him from before everything happened to him.
Yeah.
So he'll look like that, but occasionally they'll do like something with his hand. He'll have like a prop that looks cybernetic. Guaranteed, that's how they'll do it.
They are not going to put him in there
I think they will.
because there'll be a thing of.
I
Like,
think they will.
because the movie people will be like, "Nah, we're not putting him in there. He's in the movies. You can't have him."
But this is Berlanti, who managed to get Superman into Supergirl.
That's true.
So, and Flash still is the header of his own
That's
TV
true.
show. It's possible.
That's true.
It's possible.
Um,
He'll find a way. Cyborg might be like a storyline. He might be in a story of it or
Well-
something.
It doesn't matter
Oh,
because it's not out yet.
but have they at least attempted to cast the most important member of the Teen Titans, the leader of the Teen Titans? Have they titillated us with some Titans?
They have cast
What the balls?
Dick Grayson
Oh God!
/ Nightwing.
Oh, okay, cool.
and it's
Takes a step back for the movie option, then I suppose.
Brenton Thwaites.
Who?
He's Henry Turner in Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Oh! Who? Is
Will
it
Turner's son in Pirates 5.
the one in the main story and not the kid in the flashback at the beginning?
He's Will Turner's son.
I suppose Nightwing, he's going to be in his 20s, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've seen Pirates 5.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Pirates 5.
I think they've only cast him.
He's Will Turner's son.
I think they've only cast him because he has a sweet ponytail like the 90s.
Well, apparently they're saying that the main...
He's alright. He's okay. He's serviceable based on that movie. He's been cast as Nightwing.
Yes.
So the main cast is going to be who? Like, what were the main characters, have they said? Or?
As far as you know, it's Nightwing, Starfire, and Raven. So, I don't know. I don't think they'll be Cyborg.
Is this DC's direct streaming app, or is this a porn parody?
Nah, just saying.
Softcore porn parody.
Probably. I mean, it depends what design they go with for Starfire.
Tit Titans.
Interesting thing is that apparently...
Don't lie, it's not interesting.
Shut up. Apparently, the main thrust of the plot is going to be about...
Told you it was a porn parody.
It's going to be about Dick Grayson's transition.
Yeah. It's got spicier.
Next topic.
No, go on.
Transition from Robin to Nightwing.
Oh!
And learning how to be his own dude and stepping out from under the shadow of his protege.
Shadow of the Bat.
Of his protege. Stepping out from being
the protege of Bettany. Well, they're going to have to reference Batman outright then.
You can't have Dick Grayson Nightwing without Batman.
Shit! If this is a legitimate part of the Berlantiverse, though, if they do find a way to be like, okay, sod it is part of the CW universe, then that means Batman is finally freaking confirmed, aside from, like, the occasional mention of, oh god, there's that stuff going on in Gotham, people saying there's a big monster, or something like that. It's like,
this is why we left Gotham!
Oh, Harley Quinn and Arrow, and so that means that the Joker must exist in the Berlanti universe, then there must be Batman. Okay. Are we ever going to No? Cool.
No.
Do you know what? Do you know how the Berlantiverse should end?
Because it's for the movie.
Do you know how the Berlantiverse should end? Within the next couple of years, with one big final crossover event. Like, one last episode of Arrow. Like, have each of the shows have a last episode.
Yeah.
And then have one more episode that's not, part of their main story. It's like an epilogue. And based on which characters are alive, like, I'm assuming Oliver Queen's probably going to die because that's the way that show goes, isn't it? Drama and stuff. Yeah. But, like, they have one more episode per show that you have, but do the yearly crossover thing, and have it so that it freaking well ends with a storyline involving Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman. Just
Trinity.
Just do it. And then end it with like oh my god, we all worked together really well. Yes, we did. What's next? And then just end it there. Just leave it there. Leave us with a great big cock tease blue ball syndrome of, oh my god,
rub it in my face!
This would have been the Justice League we actually want to see, and we're never going to see it because we know they can't afford it. And then Warner Bros. Will give up and just finance a movie based on that instead, and we'll all be happy.
Finally.
Oh god, like what? Like in terms of everything?
No.
Like the universe?
Next topic.
Oh, thank god. Oh, thank god. Oh shit.
Final news bit. Another surprise addition to the cast of the Han Solo movie. Paul Bettany's in it.
What the Dickens?
Which was announced by Ron Howard tweeting out a photo of him and Paul Bettany on set, going, "Oh, it's Paul Bettany."
Oh, hey everyone, Paul Bettany's here. Here on Monday, Tuesday, happy days.
So yeah,
Wednesday, Thursday.
I don't know how.
Happy days.
I don't know how more of that movie. Shut up. I don't know how more of that movie they've got to film. Because Donald Glover's rapped on it, so they must be.
What he literally. I'm trying to remember the name of his rap alter ego.
You can't see the face that I'm making,
but
if you're listening to this.
They can hear it.
But I'm sure you can hear the disdain in my voice.
What's his rapper alter ego called?
I don't know! He doesn't have a rapper alter ego!
He does. He's a character. He's a character. He's rapped for years as someone else under that name. It's going to annoy me. No, it's true.
I don't believe you!
It's true. What's he called?
True!
His name is... Childish Gambino.
Oh, fine.
Childish Gambino. Oh, shit.
Right, anyway,
okay. Sorry,
he's rapped on that movie.
Has he? Childish Lando.
I am going to pull your fucking lungs out.
Can anyone tell him just after a cheap operation? I thought it'd be easier to just threaten Matt.
I need a transplant. I haven't got a spare pair, so you're going to be shit out of luck.
Oh.
Shit out of lungs.
Which is a very painful way to shit, really.
It's a painful way to go.
It's like the missing filtration. The food just goes in, immediately becomes feces.
It only takes a minute, girl, to bath along.
Morrison's bag's under the floorboards. Fall sick.
Anyway,
okay.
Paul Bettany's in Han Solo. That movie must be getting to the end of its shooting because Donald Glover's rapped on it and he's Lando, so I'm assuming he's a decent sized part of the movie. Ron Howard is being very open with it, so...
Yeah, however, though, he's not being open in the sense of giving away stuff.
No, but he's got that sort of J.J. Abrams thing of, like, here's a tease.
I do wonder if Kathleen Kennedy and the Lucasfilm sort of brain trust at Disney, are their anuses are clenching every time Ron Howard posts on social media.
I think, if anything, it's them. They might have given him a nudge and said, hey, Ron, to do a bit of damage control.
Hey, Ron, to show goodwill and that everything's great, give away some information.
I think people are worried about this movie.
I am.
Especially after, people have turned on Rogue One since release. I still hold it. It's pretty good fun.
I think it's fine. And it's a very well-made movie. That's kind of my feelings.
Okay for a movie in this kind of franchise to be just fine.
Yeah.
I think the episodes.
That seagull agreed with you. I don't know if I picked one on the mic, but it was very loud.
Not enough for someone's lunch.
Oh my god, that's my child!
But I think
I'll get a new one.
I think the episodes have to be the best their A game. But I think these spin-off anthology movies, they're just kind of filling out the universe as well as putting money in the pocket. I mean, their main purpose is putting money in the pocket of Disney, but it gives them an opportunity to fill out the universe and keep the fans tied over. And I think that it's okay for those movies to be fine, just like it's okay for The Dark World to be fine, because it is fine. It's not great.
I'll say
fine.
This broke after we recorded last week, and it comes under this umbrella.
What broke?
The Obi-Wan movie has all been confirmed now.
Yeah.
Are we hoping that it at least has Ewan McGregor in it?
It's going to have Ewan McGregor.
I hope it has Ewan McGregor in it.
If they do,
I hope it is set very shortly after Revenge of the Sith.
If it's anything, what they'll probably do is do what the Marvel comics have been doing and have stories of him trying to not be a Jedi, but not being able to help himself do good things on Tatooine.
My worry is they'll take it off-world, which kind of defies the point of him being in hiding. So it needs to be a smaller story. And they need to, the Star Wars stuff's gorgeous, the Star Wars Marvel Comics run, because the artist has made a very conscious effort because it's set while Luke's 10, 11, isn't it?
There's different
it's
stories
about
from different periods.
The first one's set when he's quite young, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the one I've read, because it's set 10 years into Obi-Wan's exile.
Yeah.
And they took a great effort to make their Obi-Wan look like the love child of Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor.
It's Ewan McGregor turning into Alec Guinness.
It's beautifully done, and Ewan is obviously older now, but he's not believably 10 years younger than Alec Guinness is in Thingy.
No.
So you'll have to take a bit of liberties. It's also space, so aging could work different for all we know. Yoda's 900 years old.
Well,
aging could work differently. It's not Lord of the Rings logic where everybody sort of ages at a third of the rate.
I would imagine Tatooine just makes you older because it's a fucking rough planet.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you need to show. You need to show him trying to be completely quiet about it and just being put through utter shit. Life is crap. I don't imagine he would hermit in a cave immediately. I think that would be something he has to do.
Hermit in a cave. He's got a house.
Oh no, but he's out in the middle of nowhere, quietly tucked away.
Yeah.
I would imagine that, this if you're going to tell a story like that, tell a story where maybe, he's not gone that far away because he's so tempted to still do something, to still help in some way. And that, this is the story that sort of forces him to go, no, I need to be quiet for the sake of everything, for the sake of the balance of the Force.
Oh.
He must get the indication that maybe Luke Skywalker, when he grows older, might be the one predicted to bring balance to the Force and all that shit. Either way, get Jimmy Smits in it as well.
Why not?
Just have Bail Organa pop along and be like, hey, I've now been in as many good Star Wars movies as I have terrible. This is great.
Hello, I'm Bail Organa.
It's Jimmy Smits. So, yeah. Why does your Bail Organa sound like a nervous Irish gentleman? Bail Organa, nice to meet you. I was sort of feeling a little bit shaken.
It's just racial profiling. Right, Chris, you've maybe put this on the topic list. I don't know what it is, so it better be good. What's DearDavid?
Oh, I thought you were referring to the lump that I want you to feel for me.
No.
Okay.
No.
So there is an artist online called Adam Ellis. Does a lot of comics for BuzzFeed.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'll show you an image and you'll probably recognise his art style. That's him.
Oh, yes, I've seen those.
They get passed around the interwebs quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, very adorable. Adam started tweeting about a month ago.
Yes.
I'm just going to read his tweets verbatim. Now, just a pre-warning. Anybody with a genuinely nervous disposition who doesn't like things sticking in their head that will creep them out for days after, skip ahead.
Alright, well, I'm going to skip ahead, alright?
Cool, well, I'm still going to tell you.
That's a lie, I don't have that kind of disposition. I'm going to lie back, and I'm going to let them wash over me.
Now, the reason I'm bringing this up, I'm just going to read the story out verbatim, because I read this, a good portion of the internet have got wind of this and started reading it, but I just wanted to spread it further, because whether you believe in supernatural stuff or not, I myself am mostly a skeptic, although I'm open to stuff because I like the idea of storytelling.
I'm almost entirely sceptical because I'm a miserable bastard.
Well, whether you believe this is fake or real, it's fascinating storytelling all the same.
Alright.
Adam Ellis, comic book artist, tweeted on the 7th of August. So, my apartment is currently being haunted by the ghost of a dead child and he's trying to kill me. He started appearing in dreams, but I think he's crossed over into the real world now. The first time I saw him, I was experiencing sleep paralysis and saw a child sitting in the green rocking chair at the foot of my bed. He had a huge misshapen head that was dented to one side. I did my best to draw him, so he did a sketch in his style, so I'll show you roughly what the kid looks like.
Ugh.
Pretty gruesome, pretty sad. Looks like a kid who's undergone horrible accidents.
Surly.
For a while he just stared at me, but then he got out of the chair and started shambling towards the bed. I couldn't move because I was paralysed. I have sleep paralysis fairly often. It sucks. Right before he reached my bed, I woke up screaming. I had another dream a few nights later where I was in a library and a girl came up to me and said, "You've seen DearDavid, haven't you?" I was like, "Who?" She said, "DearDavid. You saw him." She continued, "He's dead. He only appears at midnight, and you can ask him 2 questions if you say DearDavid first." Then she added, "But never try to ask him a 3rd question, or he'll kill you." Then David came back in another dream. Same situation. I was in bed. He was sitting in the rocking chair near the window, staring at me. In the dream, I said, "DearDavid, how did you die?" He mumbled, "An accident in a store." I say, "DearDavid, what happened in the store?" He groaned, "A shelf was pushed on my head." I'm frozen with fear. I ask, "Who pushed the shelf?" David doesn't answer. I'm frozen with fear. I'm reading the same one. I realise that I've asked a 3rd question, which I'm not supposed to do. At that point, I wake up absolutely terrified. The next couple of days, I Googled deaths in the city. I can't find anything about a kid named David dying in a store. I even tried different names, Daniel, Dylan, Devon. Nothing. A few weeks go by without incident. Sort of randomly, the apartment above mine is vacated, and I've got the opportunity to move into it. It's a larger apartment, so I'm thrilled. Another month or 2 goes by, and I sort of forget about DearDavid. I think he's lost track of me because I moved upstairs. But lately, something strange is happening. For the past 4 nights, my cats gather at the front door at exactly midnight and just stare at it. Like something is on the other side. And he posted a picture of, indeed, his 2 cats looking under the door, perched in front of it. Last night I got a weird feeling and looked out of the peephole, and I'm dead certain I saw movement on the other side. When I opened the door and turned on the hall light, nothing was there, but my cats seemed unnerved, bushy tails, etc. And that's where I am right now. DearDavid found me, I think. I don't know what to do. I'll keep you updated. So that was on the 7th of August. Last month. Pretty chilling, right? That's kind of creepy. Like, mysterious kid dies in a store, sits at the foot of his bed. Weird girl in a library in another dream says, like, huh? Then August the 9th rolled around. Update. For the 6th night in a row, my cat has walked over to the door promptly at midnight and stared at it. There's more photo of the cat just sat there. Update. What is going on? So there's just footage, so I won't play it now in case the audio bleeds in, but just footage of the cat just sat there, and occasionally it meows at the door. Just sat there, staring. I couldn't tell, so I mustered the courage to open the door. Nothing was out there, but I took another photo. Look at this. So what he did was he took a photo through the peephole, and then of the hallway itself. Now the photo through the peephole, kind of blurry. Yeah, it's the weird little circle thing. But he says, is it just me, or is there something in the first photo, right where the banister meets the shelves, hiding on the stairs? So that's the view through his peephole, and that's the view of the landing with the door open. Yeah? So this area, that area there, a weird blur. Now, he does admit, you know, like, what's to say this is not, you know, a Ujima flip.
Photographic artifact.
Yeah, well, or the smudge on the peephole of the door.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was a smudge, so I took a second photo from inside. There was something out there. Because there's the first photo, and in the second photo, the smudges moved out. Now, again, you look at the two, they could just be smudges on the thing, the way the light's catching them, but undeniably, they do look like a shape, and it is a bit darker there than it is in that one. Fair enough. All well, all good and spooky. Cool ghost story.
Yeah.
I deadbolted the lock and I got in bed because I don't know what else to do. I can still hear my cat meowing at the door. Later that night, I'm pretty scared. Photo of the cat, the lights are off in the apartment, it's still sat at his door. Pretty freaky, right?
Yeah.
Pretty freaky. August the 11th. I used a sound app to record my apartment last night. It makes individual recordings each time it hears something. There were 33 recordings. Most of them are pretty vague, a couple of them are passing cars and the like, but there are 3 that I'm interested in. The first is a snapping sound, and what seems to be like a single step, which is odd, because I didn't get out of bed last night.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just slight noise. That's a track play. This one is weird because out of 33 recordings, this is the only one that has a strange electrical sound throughout. There's a little sample of that. Very faint. Yeah? It's nothing too loud, just like a little sort of static noise, but it's the only one of the 33 recordings that had it. This directly follows the static. Another snap, and then I groan in my sleep. There then, so it's like, simple as that. Right. These happened between 2 and 3 a.m. I've got no explanations for them, but I'll keep recording and share if I find anything curious. So nothing too big there, but it is odd that one of them has static and the others didn't.
Yeah.
And there's these snapping noises. It could just be like maybe his fingernails have hit the floor, or you know, like maybe the cat has moved something in the other room.
Yeah.
Like, there's a number of explanations. He then tweeted, day after, getting the F out of my haunted apartment for the weekend. Picture of himself, giving peace sign to the camera, off he pops on an adventure. Yeah? Someone replied with, he's there, and circled these blotches and smudges on the window. Now, there's a door with windows behind him, and again, trick of the light, smudges on the glass, something behind it. But if you do look at it, it does kind of have a bit of a structure to it. Mouth, nose, eyes, head.
There's a name for that. It's the way humans see faces.
Yeah, and the way that, like, if a dressing gown on the back of a door at night, you think that it's a person. Because the way the brain works...
you look for familiar shapes.
It looks at familiar shapes. It's not your brain trying to scare you, it's your brain trying to comfort you.
Yeah.
But because, of course, you're in a dark environment, your immediate thought is, oh my god, there's someone in the room.
Yeah.
Not, oh yay, it's a person! So, you know. But there is a bit of a... Can you see it? Sort of a bit of a shit. There's a mouth, there's a nose, eye. Sort of hunched little boy floating somewhere. Kind of creepy. The next day, so a weird thing just happened. Take it with a grain of salt. I bought a Polaroid camera this weekend, and this is where I started to go, this is a story.
Yeah.
But still, because they're fun and dorky, I decided to take a few photos around my apartment. A photo of his Polaroid camera. Pretty sweet piece of early 90s swag there.
Yeah, I like some Polaroids.
Then I went to the hallway and snapped a photo. The Polaroid developed completely black. I also thought maybe I accidentally covered the lens with my finger, so I took a photo whilst covering it. The photo on the left is me covering the lens with my finger. The one on the right is my fully lit hallway taken just after midnight. For those listening along at home, the photo on the left looks sort of like when you've got something across the lens. A bit of light in the sides, a bit of texture. Not entirely black. The one on the right, which was apparently the hallway taken after midnight, with the lights on, remind you, is jet black. So, that's freaky. This could be nothing. I'm not sure what to make of it. I'll record myself sleeping again tonight. And I have Sage being delivered tomorrow, because people were recommending you buy Sage. Okay. As always, I'll keep you in the loop. I'll record myself sleeping again, and I have Sage being delivered tomorrow. Okay, one last thing I wanted to double check. Here's a couple of videos of me taking photos, right? So just to basically prove how he's using the camera.
Yeah.
And pretty straightforward. Here's a video. Let's have a quick look at this. There we go.
Okay, here's my living room.
There we go. Straightforward. Oh, that's like an early 2000s Polaroid, isn't it?
Yeah, modern Polaroid. I've got a couple of those.
So there we go. Cheeky little video there, show you how he's using it.
Mm-hmm.
Then a photo of the hallway. So here's him taking a photo of the infamous hallway.
Okay.
It's quite a long one, so I'll skip ahead a little bit to the important part. So there he is, lifts the camera. Takes a photo. The flash, it's a fully lit hallway. Yeah? He's taking it with the flash. Here's the photo. Here's the photo. Here's the photo. There is nothing in that photo. That photo is black.
There's got to be a switch or an edit in there.
Maybe, but all the same, that's pretty spooky.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, yeah.
It came out completely, so this is it fully developed.
Yeah.
For a second time. Honestly, I don't know why I'm still fucking around with this camera. There might be a logical explanation. Someone told me to take photos from further away, so I tried it once. Once with my iPhone and once with the Polaroid. The left picture is the picture taken with my iPhone. The picture on the right is the one with the Polaroid. The hallway light was on both times. Now in this photo you can see his living room, the hallway door open leading into the hallway outside his apartment, the lights on, there's the banister, there's the sign on the wall, there's the shelf, and on the right is the Polaroid photo from the same angle. That'll be a bit wider. That hallway's pitch black.
Mm-hmm.
That is a pitch black hallway.
Mm-hmm.
That is not how depth of field works when you're taking photographs when things are lit.
Mm-hmm.
That is not how that works. So, apparently, this is 3 more days later, August 17th, strange faces have been showing up in some of the photos I take. A couple of people have pointed this out, which I don't have a real explanation for. So that's the original picture of him showing the 2 Polaroids from the start of his Polaroid adventure. Yeah?
Yeah.
And just above that one is a face. Now, he owns 2 cats. I'm looking at that picture and thinking that's a cat.
Yeah, probably.
That looks like it could be a cat. But if you've forgotten about the cats, and if that is a blank surface and not a shelf, although that bit of something there suggests it might be, that does look like a little face.
It's pretty neat.
Pretty freaky.
Pretty
there
neat.
We go. So it's not in the photograph, it's in the photograph he took of the photographs. So, whatever. Adam took the advice of many and ordered sage. Folks have been urging me to get some sage, so I did. So he's burning sage, walking around his apartment, having the smell, because apparently, it's a very a very common suggestion if you're having hauntings is to have the fumes of sage and whatnot wafting throughout the property. Apparently it wards off evil spirits, blah, 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 blah. Saging the hallway and definitely saging the hell out of this rocking chair. Now this is the bit that made me go, oh, that is spooky, because at no point had he mentioned that he has a green rocking chair, just that DearDavid was sat in a green rocking chair in the dreams. He's got a green rocking chair.
He said it's the green rocking chair, the green rocking chair at the end of my bed, not a green rocking chair at the end of my bed.
Fair play. But here it is in his living room. He has moved it in the living room, which I think there are tweets elsewhere where he says that he's moved it around. Yeah. But there he is, saging the shit out of places. Sage does not work, he said this a couple of days before the camera tweets. I haven't dreamt about David in a few months, but he appeared again last night. In the dream, my bedroom was filled with hazy smoke. So obviously he's been saging everywhere, he's probably thinking about that. But I could see David sitting in the chair across the room. He was smaller this time, almost shrunken. He didn't do or say anything except look at me. Anyway, it feels like a bad omen. We skipped to the 21st of August, a week later. I had a dream that night where David was dragging me by the arm through an abandoned warehouse. I'm not sure why I didn't fight back in the dream or how he was strong enough to pull me, but that's dream logic for you. It was a creepy dream, but I didn't think much of it when I woke up. I took a shower, and then I noticed something. I'd woken up with a huge bruise on my arm. And there's the photo, his forearm is bruised. Round about where someone would possibly grab you round the wrist.
Yeah.
Now, look, maybe I injured myself the day before, my arm was hurting during the night, it manifested as a dream. There could be a totally logical explanation for it, so I brushed it off and I went to get coffee, which I do every weekend. So it goes down the street, yeah? When I walk to the coffee place, I always pass a food cart repair depot. It's always incredibly busy, especially on weekends. I've lived in the neighbourhood for over 4 years, and the place has always been jam-packed with carts getting serviced. But today, it was completely abandoned. The whole warehouse was totally gutted and empty. He's taken 2 photos of the shutter that presumably is usually open, people coming in and out. So he's peered in, taken a photo of the completely empty space. Well, almost empty. I went inside to look around because I was astonished that this place was suddenly empty after all these years. Basically, the only thing in the entire warehouse was a single green chair.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a chair with dark green legs and a back, and aside from the ladders in the background of the warehouse, it is indeed the only damn thing just sat there that looks out of place. Doesn't look like part of the warehouse tat. If you recall, David first appeared in my green rocking chair. It could be nothing, but it's weird that this was the only thing left behind.
Yeah.
This is a creepy story, right?
Yeah.
It hasn't finished.
Oh no.
On the 26th of August, my entire call history for the past week looks like this. It's a bunch of no-caller IDs. You'll notice that I answered only once yesterday. Yeah? It's a load of caller IDs, a couple days worth.
Yeah.
Since this has been happening for days on end, I thought that it might be an automated telemarketer or something. Yeah? Instead, what I heard on the other end, this is the one time he picked up, was a peculiar electrical static sound very similar to the static my sleep app picked up the other night. After about a minute, the static stopped and there was silence. I kept listening. I heard what I thought was breathing, but it was so faint that I can't be sure. My heart was racing, so it was hard to hear. Then, just as I was about to hang up, I heard a very small voice whisper, "Hello." Something about the way they said hello freaked me out. It wasn't a question or a greeting, just hello. A flat statement, so quiet I could barely hear it. I panicked and hung up. I didn't know what else to do. I closed all the curtains in my apartment and turned on every single light. I watched the TV until dawn because I was too scared to go to sleep. I sort of feel like I'm losing my mind. If I look at each individual incident on its own, there are perfectly logical explanations for everything. But after 3 weeks of weird shit happening, I don't know how to make sense of it all. The only thing I feel like I can do right now is write everything down. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'll keep doing. He's got a point. You look at each individual thing, and you're like, yeah, I mean, it could be this, it could be that, but it's the consistency of them since the cat started looking at the door 3 weeks ago. That's the freaky part.
Meow.
We have a video.
Ooh.
So I moved the green chair out of the bedroom weeks ago. It's been in various parts of the living room ever since. I should probably get rid of it, but I'm not sure it would have any effect. Also, I'm going on vacation to Japan in 3 weeks, and I keep thinking if I take my trip, this will all end as dumb as that sounds. David lost track of me once when I moved, so maybe if he believes I've left the apartment again, he'll leave me alone. Anyway, last week I bought a pet monitoring camera so I can keep an eye on the cats whilst I'm overseas. It's basically a nanny cam that connects to the Wi-Fi so you can check in whenever you want. It runs 24/7. It also alerts you to sound and movement via an app. I blacked out the company since I doubt they want to be associated with ghosts. So he showed the notifications he got when he tested it. Motion detection from, sound detection from. In any event, I decided to test it out this weekend as I was away from home one night, so I set the camera up before I left. My phone pinged periodically throughout the evening, alerting me to the cats running around and playing. Normal stuff. Then, around 11, it alerted me again that it detected motion, but when I checked the feed of my apartment, I didn't see anything. So I watched the feed again. Still nothing. I watched it a third time and finally noticed something. Watch the chair. So here's the video. It's currently facing the wall of his apartment, near the door. There's the TV, there's the door to the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the green rocking chair. As you can see, about 10 seconds in, it starts to move. Rocks briefly, no cats nearby. And then it stops. And there's another 30 seconds of nothing.
That's
pretty freaky, right?
Yeah.
Pretty freaky. No cats nearby, and it's right by the door. About half an hour later, I got another motion alert. Here's the feed, right? So here's the next video. I'm just going to blow this up so you can see it. Here's the next video. Nothing apparent.
Oh.
And then the turtle shell hanging on his wall drops onto the shelf.
Hey.
That's pretty freaky, right?
That's strange.
Pretty freaky, right? One more time. Now I've just noticed just before it, it looks like the plant shifts slightly. A little bit. Could be the pixels, but
I didn't notice that.
it's just next to the turtle shell. So
yeah.
pretty spooky. Yeah. He describes the turtle shell. He says, I know it's a weird to own a turtle shell. My family lives in Montana and I picked it up last year at a native trading post. There's a picture of the turtle shell in question.
Mm-hmm.
Then someone pointed something else out. I hope nothing else happens tonight. Wait, the fuck? Someone just pointed out that one of the blue chairs in the background isn't in the second video. So there's a screen cap from the first video. See, there's two blue chairs, one tucked in there and one on the other side.
Bad continuity.
It could be bad continuity. Now, there's a light difference.
Yeah.
There. The light difference could simply be that, like, cars passed or a street light's turned on at a certain time or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's tweaked the contrast of the picture slightly to highlight it. But one thing a few other people have noticed is the turtle shell moves between the pictures. Now this is just before it drops. If that's hanging on a nail, it wouldn't shift down. So this is where a lot of people have stepped off and gone, yeah, this is staged. This has been staged in some way.
Yeah.
Then again, in the second video, the turtle shell is higher, so it could be something pushing it upwards off the nail. Either way, that chair looks not to be there. Although, see where it is?
Yeah.
It could just be this light going past.
Yeah, it looks like it
could be this light going past.
Because you've still got the curve of that. The shadow is on the back is where the back of the chair would be.
Yeah. So it's possible the chair is still there and it's just a trick of the light in that moment because there is an external light coming out somewhere in the kitchen. Listen to us, we've got all conspiracy theory. Better than Breitbart. Okay. I just went and checked. The blue chair is back where it's supposed to be. So the chair is there. So maybe it didn't move, maybe it did move, but whatever. There is the chair. Fuck this, I'm not staying here tonight. Wait, now people point out the chair is still there, it's just the lighting. Okay, this is too much. I'm taking a Xanax and I'm going to bed. So that was the last bit of recorded activity.
Yeah.
That was on August 29th. A few days ago, on September 1st, a few days before this recording, he confirmed that, hello, yeah, I'm still alive, still working and everything. Nothing else has happened. I'm going to Japan, by the time this episode's out, he'll be in Japan.
Yeah.
If you want to follow his antics, Moby_dickhead is his Twitter. Moby_dickhead. It's Adam Ellis. I want to check back on this in 3 weeks when he gets back from his Japan vacation, where he believes there won't be any more activity.
We shall see.
Because DearDavid may have forgotten who he is. Fake? Real? I don't care. What a fascinating ghost story to tell on social media.
Definitely, yeah, it's fake, but the way it's been done is quite nice. I like that.
It's Ghost Watch for Twitter.
Yeah.
It's Marble Hornets for still images and captions.
Yeah.
It's look at this spooky stuff that we're noticing.
That's quite cool.
I think that's pretty damn sweet. Here's my question.
What?
When is Library Girl going to show up to reveal some more backstory?
Yeah.
She's been out of the game for a few months.
Yeah, we need Library Girl.
I don't know who Library Girl is. But, I mean, your brain starts to piece stuff together, doesn't it?
Brains do that.
Like the shopping cart repair place. the structure inside it, like the pillars, like the old warehouse buildings, like, was that a store at some point? Like, smaller independent grocery stores kind of have that structure. And we're only seeing the shutter entrance. And why would they have cart repair? Why would they repair shopping carts? Well, why would they repair shopping carts unless maybe at some point...
they're repairing food carts.
Food carts. Yeah, well, yeah. But again, like...
Food trucks.
Food truck. There you go. But again, like, warehouse storage. It's that the sort of stuff that you normally have. Like, you have this warehouse storage place. There's one out in... oh, God, where's near Barton Airfield? There's a place that has stock in for certain companies that, like, dish out foods there. And they sometimes just open up and have sales of excess product. So it might not have been a supermarket, for example. It could have been a storage place. Yeah, and little David's gone along one day, and the shelves landed on his head. Like, it's an interesting way to tell a story. So
yeah, absolutely.
If you guys haven't seen the DearDavid pictures and everything, we will tweet out a link after this podcast goes out. But again, if you want to see it as it happens and follow every tweet about it, Moby_dickhead on Twitter, Adam Ellis. Pray for Adam Ellis.
Pray for him.
Pray for him. So that is DearDavid. Just thought I'd spread this creepy little ghost story.
You did spread it. That felt like half the podcast.
It probably was. Alright though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
pretty cool. Pretty spooky.
So,
pretty spooky.
Before we go to the emails, we're going to stop in at our usual Rick and Morty corner.
Rick and Morty corner.
Looking at this week's episode, Rest and Relaxation.
Rest and Relaxation. I love how every other episode they go, we should come up with a pun using Rick's name, but they're not always consistent with it.
Yeah.
Just like, we'll do a pun at some point. Rest and Relaxation. As we know last week, I had some problems with the Whirly Dirly Conspiracy.
You did have some problems with the Whirly Dirly Conspiracy.
Found it kind of mediocre in comparison to a lot of other episodes. There was some good stuff, but I just didn't... I felt like there was a problem evident in there, and that the emotional grounding of the family drama has become a bit too focal. Much of a focal point now, when it was beautiful. It was a beautiful spine to the story in the first two series, and now it's become the skin and the organs and everything.
Is that what you think?
Yeah. But do you know what? Maybe I just need to have my toxic elements removed. Because I really enjoyed this week.
I don't think there's a big enough machine to suck out your toxic elements, Chris.
Oh, screw you.
I've seen how much coke you drink.
Just swallow that snot in the back of your throat, okay? Just clear your throat. Christ's sake. I really enjoyed it. Rest and Relaxation. I thought it was pretty cool. It was a straight up Rick and Morty adventure.
A straight up Rick and Morty romp.
It dealt with I think maybe the reason I liked it is because it did something that the problem I've had is how much it's been grounded in the emotional stuff about the family's activities and everything. This episode was literally about an emotional detox. Maybe that's why I enjoyed it. Because it was an emotional detox, specifically for Morty, who has had to grow up really quick.
Yeah.
In this episode, all of his stress gets taken away. And we get to see Morty at, like, peak positivity. And that is my favourite Morty performance from Justin Roiland ever.
Scary positivity.
It's the scene where he's on a date, finally, on a date with Jessica. And they realise they're not compatible because she's a bit boring compared to his new positive outlook on life. But he's fine with it. He doesn't think that she's boring. She thinks she's boring for him. And he's like, okay, that's what dates are like. Seeing if the sparks fly, and I guess the sparks aren't flying. Hey, it's okay.
First date, no sparks.
First
that's
date,
fine.
no sparks. That's cool. It's just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then he chats up an older woman at the bar. She acknowledges, aren't you like 13? And he just flirts so expertly that she basically, without saying these exact words, goes, well, guess I'm a paedophile now.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, it had the Rick and Morty dark humour again, but subtle like that. For those who haven't seen it, basic plot. They go to, they have a 20-minute adventure tops in the opening credits sequence, the pre-credit sequence, which turns into a 6-week,
6-day
intergalactic Star Wars-esque epic.
Yeah.
That gets so out of their control that they just burst into tears and break down when they finally get back to the car.
Yeah, it takes its toll.
Even Rick is like, that was completely out of my hands. Like, that was pure luck. We could have died, like, so many times. And he starts to, even at the moment, he's like, I don't know, maybe I hate myself, maybe I want to die. Oh God, I don't know. And they're just like, they're both so emotionally vulnerable, so they go to an alien spa where they get, like, chewed up by a beast that spits them out as part of the relaxation treatment and all this stuff, and they take part in this like detox that gets rid of their toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
And at first we think they've arrived in some kind of hellish dimension full of hate-filled booger monsters. But no, that's Rick and Morty's toxicity. Their toxicity for each other and their life is so strong, it has its own consciousness that is now trapped in the detox machine and wants out.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, really positive, happy Rick and really super confident, positive Morty go back to Earth and have a swell time.
They do. They have a really good time.
Until the curious Rick picks up a transmission from the spa, realising that the detoxicity machine is trying to get their attention. And this Rick's toxicity is basically just all of his nastiness, but he's still a curious scientist. He's like, I think we must have done something wrong, so I'm going to let them out.
It's almost all of his personality, in fact.
Yeah, like, oh god, yeah. It's pretty... You know the Rick we very briefly see in the quote-unquote fake flashback in the first episode of Series 3?
Yeah.
That's Rick, if he gets rid of his toxicity. Just a positive, scientific guy. But Morty's just a super confident, like, sex dynamo. Like, relationship counsellor.
Yeah.
Like, it's really weird. So Morty doesn't want to let the toxic one out in case he has to go back to how he was. Whereas Rick's like, no, maybe that's what we should do. And then ensues, and like, it's essentially like evil Rick and Morty versus normal Rick and like good Rick and Morty storyline. Although the toxic Morty isn't evil, he's just super scared and frightened and thinks he's a piece of shit. And it was really good. It went back to what makes me laugh about those two characters specifically.
Yeah.
Pretty cool sci-fi concepts in there as well.
Which you're all about.
I'm all about, especially Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty to me is like if Red Dwarf was distilled into a 22-minute kinetic cartoon that's frantic and never stops.
And it's got a much darker sense of humour than
like the dwarf dips a toe into that from time to time, but it gets lost a bit sometimes. Especially the modern dwarf gets lost in sort of its silliness and just being happy to be with those characters. Whereas Rick and Morty's like, no, we're going to throw sci-fi in your face. And this series has sort of lacked in it a bit. It's been more set dressing.
Yeah.
Even this episode sort of feels more like a casual sci-fi plot.
Yeah.
But coupled with the psychology of what makes them toxic and everything. Psychology. And then just the fight between the two Ricks.
Yeah.
Where they both start to whip out weapons and devices that he's hidden throughout the house to fight each other. Like, there's a bit where the toxic Rick, like, takes out this little creature that he then comforts and strokes and says nice things to, and the more stuff he's saying to it, the more he's stroking it, the bigger it starts to get.
Yeah.
And it's just this tiny little, like, it's like Venonat.
Yeah.
It's just this tiny little fuzzy bug thing that then grows bigger and becomes like an attack the block creature.
Monster, yeah.
That he then basically points at Rick and he's like I think he's give it part of Rick's coat or something, or he cuts himself and he lets it bleed or something like that as we sniff blood. So he starts to attack Rick. So Rick shoots Toxic Rick with a dart gun in the floor that then has like a countdown on it. It's like going doop 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 doop, and Toxic Rick's like, no! And he like can't pull it out. So he reaches into the shelves of the bookshelf and he pulls out another one like it and fires it at the creature. As the creature's tearing Nice Rick apart and Nice Rick dies. And then a new Nice Rick, baby-sized, bursts, like chest bursts out of Toxic Rick when the dart goes ping, grows to full size, and then another one of Toxic Rick bursts out of the creature. And suddenly you've got two naked Ricks arguing. You're like, what is happening?
One naked Rick who is slightly melty and gungy and green.
God. The majority of the rest of this episode is spent with a pixelated box over their cocks.
Yeah. There's a lot of nudity in this episode.
There is. It was great. And Morty's, like business success, like, epilogue is wonderful. And then, obviously, the inevitable return to the status quo.
It's a really smart, it's a really smart thing, though. It's quite fun.
But there is a bit of growth in this story at the end of it. There is some character development, which we've not had for a while in that sort of progressive... Like, we thought we got character development in Series 2, and then it comes back to, no, Rick is actually just a... It's like, oh, okay... But you keep hinting that he cares about his family and just, are you going to do something with this?
No.
Yeah, even if we're not going to get development of that, the Jessica and Morty story gets a little bit of development.
Yeah.
It ends with Jessica basically being like, okay, maybe one day. I kind of like you.
Maybe one day.
And it's like, oh.
It's never
alright, okay.
I refuse to believe it.
And also Drunk Rick apparently calling Jessica in the period Morty's away, babbling and crying down the phone that he's lost his grandson. It's like, oh, so he does give a shit!
But only in
Even after Vindicators, where we got like basically a blanket thing of, no, he really doesn't give a shit. In this, we're like, oh, so he does give it... I dug it. I turned my brain off for 22 minutes and then had to turn it back on for some sci-fi nonsense, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a fun episode, man. It's really good fun.
Plus that song. What is the song? Is it grabbing something by the Jerry flaps or something like that? It's just Justin Roiland's obviously just improv to a beat, but then they've got backing singers and someone to properly produce it. So it's his bullshit, then retroactively produced.
Yeah.
With harmonies.
Which, you know...
And it's beautiful.
You could make the argument that that's the entirety of Rick and Morty.
It devolves...
It's Justin Roiland's bullshit.
It devolves into his usual you piece of shit
at
the end. But it worked. It was great. So
Dicks
I look forward to... I think it might actually be a fortnight's time, because it's taking a break in the States of a week over Labor Day weekend. There wasn't a new one in the States this weekend. So maybe we're going to play catch-up now.
Maybe.
But I'm not sure how that works. We'll see.
Hopefully.
Well, I'll see!
Right, emails time.
Emails time!
Only got a couple because we're recording slightly earlier than we usually do.
We did get a tweet, though, if you want me to chuck out a tweet.
Yeah, we'll chuck out a tweet.
I'll throw this one in there.
You chuck out the tweet.
Ian McLean has written on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's written a bunch of silly questions, like, what's your favourite cheese, what's a plumbus? But then he's written two serious ones.
Oh, okay, what are the two serious ones?
I'm not going to acknowledge the serious one. No, I'm kidding. The serious ones are... what 3 films are you most looking forward to in 2018?
Okay.
Now, I don't know the complete 2018 release slate, but Black Panther. Infinity War, yeah. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah?
It's sad that
the 3
my
MCU
answers are MCU movies, but they're the only ones I know are definitely coming out in 2018 that I care about.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really think of any others apart from that.
We'll do at the end of this year. We'll do what we did last year, where we did like a roundup of the films of 2017, and we'll do a big look forward to 2018. So we can elaborate on that in a later ep.
Yeah, because I'm just not off the top of my head. I'm not too sure.
The film I'm the most excited about for 2018 that I can remember is Black Panther. That is the one that I'm most excited about.
Black Panther is gonna be. I'm hoping.
Step into the spotlight.
Fucking awesome.
But his other serious question, good sir, kind sir.
Yes.
And this is quite relevant, really. This week, as you're listening to this, gentle listener, marks the 25th anniversary of Batman the Animated Series.
The animated series?
AKA the single greatest Batman thing ever.
Okay.
Let's be honest. In terms of adaptations, at least, and consistency and all that beautiful stuff. So he's asked, what are your top 3 Batman animated series episodes? Now, that's going to be tough to remember specifics, but I could certainly name some of my favourites. And a bunch of them are so obvious, like you'll roll your eyes when you hear them. The Man Who Killed Batman is a definite favourite.
Yeah.
What about Sid the Squid?
Yeah.
Small-time mobster who accidentally kills Batman, or believes he's killed Batman.
So many air quotes in that sentence.
Yeah, so the mob, want to know his story. Rupert Thorne, one of the animated series' best assets, actually, in terms of villainous plots. Basically, Kingpin for Batman the Animated Series, but before the Spider-Man animated series came out. Rupert Thorne, gets a hold of him, wants to know the story, and then, he ends up in prison at one point, and one of the prisoners wants to kill him because their reckoning is, it's in a bar, isn't it? Well, their reckoning is, if I kill the guy who killed Batman, then I'll be top dog. And Sid Squid's like, no, I'm not saying I'm top dog, and all this stuff. But of course, most famously, the Joker gets a hold of him.
Yeah.
And there's this wonderful freaking scene where he's basically just like, tell me about it, tell me everything, I want to hear the story. You're like, oh. Okay, I guess the Joker just wants to hear my story then. Okay, I'll tell him. And the Joker's like, no, don't believe it. Right, we're going on a night out. And it's like, what? And they go rob a jewellery store, a big jewellery store. Harley Quinn's there smashing stuff up, and Joker's thugs are smashing stuff up. And Joker's just waiting. He's like, he's supposed to be here by now. Where the hell is he? And it dawns on him. He's like, oh God, maybe Batman is dead. So then they have a funeral for Batman, where they take a coffin, stick Sid the Squid in it, nail it shut, and push it into a vat of acid. And the reason why it's a favourite episode is Mark Hamill, as the Joker, gives the eulogy for Batman, which just turns into a rant about this snivelling little piece of slime who's not fit enough to lick the spit off my spats, or whatever it is. Basically the eulogy is him pissed off that this guy took Batman out.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's such a great scene. Spoiler, Sid survives. But, it's just that brilliant... The eulogy ends with him yelling and screaming and all this. And then he just takes... Oh, God, Harley Quinn plays the funeral, march on a kazoo. It's so good! And then Joker basically just ends this really scary moment. Everything's calmed down. There is a coffin in the middle of the acid that's going to burn a man alive. Everyone's gone silent. And Joker just goes, well, that was fun. Who's for Chinese? And then they just leave! It's great! Man Who Killed Batman's a good one. What else? Mad Love's obviously a bit of a standout, but I'd recommend reading that before you watch it. Because watching it's just like watching a really faithful adaptation of a good thing you like.
It's not as good as
the book version's got the animated series designs. The episode is during the time of the new Batman and Robin adventures, so it's got slightly different designs that aren't quite as classic. All of that being said, Over the Edge from that version of the show.
Over the Edge, yeah.
Over the Edge is amazing. Basically, the animated series version of a Last Batman story,
it's really
where
good.
everything turns to shit, and Gordon is the enemy, but at the same time, he's completely justified in what he's doing, and you're on his side. Mm-hmm. It's horrible to watch. I like his deal with Bane, and freaking when the police arrive and they take Alfred in the cave, and it's really traumatic. It's horrible. Heart of Ice, of course, from season 1, the Mr. Freeze story, the story that proved that not only is Paul Dini one of the greatest contributors to Batman's mythology when it comes to putting pen to paper, but also it reinvented a villain that had become a joke thanks to Batman and Robin.
This was
before it, but I mean in a way that sort of like it influenced. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, but I mean, whenever people go, Mr. Freeze is dumb. I think I'm just talking from my own experience. Like, really, whenever people say, "Oh, Mr. Freeze is stupid," I go, "Watch Heart of Ice." Yeah. And they watch it, they go, oh my god, Mr. Freeze is great. I'm like, yeah, he is. Yeah. He is. But because of course originally Batman and Robin was just going to straight up adapt Heart of Ice for Mr. Freeze, and instead it takes elements of it, doesn't it? And messes it up completely.
The loosest
like Nora and stuff, and it's fucking stupid. But like, the ending of that episode is amazing. God, what else? Which other ones stand out? Almost Got Him. Almost Got Him is the one in the poker club with Penguin, Two-Face, Poison Ivy, Joker, and Killer Croc. Are all like in this villain's bar, hidden away, and they're all playing poker, and they're just swapping stories of the times that they almost killed Batman. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's so, because it's just these little vignettes, just these little 2.5 minute stories, like Ivy with the poisoned pumpkin patch rigged with all the explosives, and like Penguin's one is so like old school Penguin, like it's in an aviary, and there's like a freaking ostrich that is like trying to kill him, and all these birds that flock around him, and oh god! And then Killer Croc, his story. It's like, there I was. He cornered me in the quarry. And it's like, and then I threw a rock at him. And everyone just looks at him like, And then they turn around and like Harvey begins to tell his story, and Croc goes, it was a big rock. It's great. And you find out that Joker's story is currently happening, and like the ending is great, and it's like, it's so good. Almost Got It was amazing. The Trial, that's another one where if you just want to watch a bunch of the villains get together and do stuff. The Trial, that's really good actually. Like the new DA is anti-Batman and stuff, and she ends up locked in Arkham on a night when all the inmates like break out but stay there because they've got hold of Batman and the new DA, and she's going to be Batman's defense attorney in a makeshift trial. With Harvey Dent as the prosecution.
I thought you said specifics would be difficult for you.
I don't know.
You don't need to explain the plot of every episode. Just say what the episodes are.
I love it because Joker's the judge. And
you don't have to give us a full synopsis of every episode.
Yeah, but it's so good.
We'll be here till next month.
It's so good. God, what else? Holy shit. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but the 3-part where you first meet Ra's al Ghul is amazing. David Warner's Ra's al Ghul is really good. Is it called the Demon's? Is it the Demon's Head or something like that?
I'm not
sure. Or Daughter of the Demon or something? Because it's basically the first appearance of like Talia and Ra's and the Lazarus Pits, and it's done so well. It's the best adaptation outside of the books of the Lazarus Pits and what they do for me. It's so good. It's great. It's phenomenal.
It's all good.
The Perchance to Dream, where Bruce just wakes up and his parents are alive.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's so good. And the thing is, I'm naming a lot of episodes that are like sort of the twist on the mythology ones or stuff, but like the simple ones are amazing as well. Like the simple, like seek out the 2 Scarface specific episodes. They are great. And the Creeper one with Jack Ryder is really good. Oh, they're just awesome.
They're all good.
Girls' Night Out. That's the one with the Metropolis crossover with Harley. Was it Harley and Ivy, and Batgirl and Supergirl? That's really good. And Livewire's in that one as well.
Yeah, of course.
It's great. It's great. Go watch it.
What was the other serious question?
Those are the two serious questions. The 2018 movies and Batman.
Okay.
And also watch the movies Mask of the Phantasm and Sub-Zero. They're really good.
I need...
And Beware and Batman Beyond.
I need a voice for Dan Rawlings.
Ooh! Let's have a look around the room. We're in the Tap Cave right now. So let's pick an inspired voice from the nearby shite. Let's have Sylvester McCoy. Dan Rawlings is played by Sylvester McCoy.
Unlimited rice pudding!
Etc. Etc.
What's the worst thing that's happened to you on air / on stage?
Ooh!
Also, can you reluctantly tell me which Doctor Who monsters from the classic or our past episodes from the revival you'd want to see return, even though they'd probably be shit and nothing compared to the original? I'm just going to have to hit send now before I come up with another 6 questions. Bye, chaps. Dan Rawlings.
Could you say Dan Rawlings with Sylvester McCoy R?
Dan Rawlings.
Now can you call him Dan Rawling, God of Ragnarok?
Dan Rawling, God of Ragnarok.
Thank you. I just wanted that. I just wanted some rolling Sylvesters. So what was the first question? Things that have gone horribly wrong?
What's the worst thing that's happened to you on air / on stage?
Ooh, have you got any nightmare stage stories? Or nightmare? Because you've worked on TV and stuff as well. Has anything gone wrong in particular?
I've not got any nightmare TV stories.
Because I was going to say, I don't think I've got any nightmare stage stories. I think stage has gone has gone rather well for me.
There have been a couple of times where I've got distracted backstage and almost missed entrances.
Okay, no, tell a lie. That's happened to me.
But I've always managed to make it just on time.
In the nick.
In one of my drama school shows, I managed to skip ahead about 4 pages of dialogue. And we just, between me and the guys, we skipped about 4 pages of dialogue. Important dialogue out of this fucking scene.
It's like one of you just said something, the other one automatically responded with what they know is the response, and then during it, your brains are going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hang on.
And we managed to set it up, but...
You came on stage, said 4 lines, and left. You're like, wait, hang on, I'm sure we're meant to be there for 5 minutes.
Yeah. It was like this 10-page scene, and we cut like half of it out unintentionally.
But you did what you meant to do, and just carry on.
Yeah.
And because you can, there's only one of 2 things you can do there to fix it. And that's either somehow one of you double back,
which the other guy did eventually.
So you worked it in,
but only like the very barest details. It was really weird.
But if you get the story across and it feels natural to people who don't know the text, then it works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because the other thing that you get taught basically is if you accidentally skip a page, carry on.
Yeah.
Just carry on.
Just make it work.
Because unless you've got the writer in the audience, no one's going to know.
Well,
just carry. Unless, of course, later on stuff makes no sense.
Which was what was going to happen if we hadn't have saved it. So yeah, that was a bad one.
When we did Grease, because we were both in a production of Grease in 2008. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. When we did Grease, I was a much tinier man, so I fit into the cream suit of Teen Angel.
Yeah.
I remember I think it was the second performance. We did 5 performances.
Yeah, 5.
On the second, the mic packs. We had mic packs.
Yeah.
Which blew me away, because I'd been doing all the performing arts, centric, less musical theatre shows in the Kingsley Theatre, which was, not smaller, but obviously...
it was smaller.
Well, yeah, it wasn't as tall, but I mean, in terms of the space between where you're performing and everything, there was still that... You know what I mean? The Eccleston was the bigger theatre, the Kingsley was the more intimate one, but,
sure.
we were, non-mic'd, so
sure.
That was the first time I'd ever, I think, used mics on stage.
Yeah.
And it freaked me out.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a mic when I was in, because we were both in ensemble, because you were Vince Fontaine.
Yeah. So I had a bit of dialogue and then the rest was ensemble. Yeah.
You were a jock in the ensemble.
Yeah.
I was a nerd in the ensemble.
Yeah.
Wonder where they got that.
Can't imagine.
Yeah. But it meant that when we had our characters, when we go off and do a costume change, we had to get a mic fitted. Or slip a mic in to the costume somewhere.
Yeah. I don't think I was on mic. I think I had
You had a hand mic?
I had a handheld.
Because you were hosting the...
Because I did the
dance.
hosting from the stage, and then I was just wandering around for the rest of it. So I only had that one bit of...
Pervin like
I was
crazy.
pervy. I had a couple of bits of
We both played pervs!
Yeah, we did.
Because I did Teen Angel, pervy.
Because you can't help yourself.
Well, no, it was because the director, whose name I shan't name, but if you know us from college, you know who it was. The director didn't direct or stage the Teen Angel sequence until the day before the first performance. Do you remember? Every time we did full runs, we skipped Teen Angel.
Why was that?
I think it was because I was the only dude in it, and I wasn't doing any dancing or any movement, and that person wasn't interested. Now, I know that's a stereotype, and I know that's a bit of an accusation, but it's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because why would you, like, I was getting panicked. I was like, we perform, like, on Tuesday. It's Monday. I don't know what my sequence is. I've been rehearsing the song like crazy in the other room. I don't know what else is going on. But then they just did it. So I kind of had to create a tone for it in a way. And I just made myself a bit lecherous. So, like, while Teen Angel's singing to... Oh, who's the character he's singing to? Frenchie. While I was singing to Frenchie, it was Lizzie? Was it the name of the actor? I think so.
Can't remember who played who.
I was basically just being a bit creepy. Because I thought, I can't play this cheesy, because no one's like... So I've not been able to ease myself into it and figure out the stage. So I'm going to be a bit odd. And he seemed to like it. When we finally directed the sequence, he seemed to like it, so we encouraged it. It's like, fair enough, I'll keep going. But tight ass suit, having to get this microphone on. There's not much room for the microphone in that suit. If you remember that suit was basically skin. It was like skin. Yeah. There was nowhere to really put the mic discreetly. The only place you could get away with it was the small of the back at the top of the high-waisted pants. Mm-hmm. Because at least you had the jacket covering it a bit.
Yeah.
And no one is focusing on the middle of your back. Like they're focusing elsewhere.
Well, I've got a particular fetish, so I might be, but...
Baby. I like that bit just above the waistline.
Just above the waist.
Yeah, where the spine is it's most vulnerable. I like to rub my pinu.
The curvature of your back.
So, do that. So, that's where it went.
Yeah.
The second performance, the clip snapped.
Nice.
So the mic pack, they were quite slim, if I remember correctly.
Oh, they were only small things.
Yeah. Started to slip downwards. So during the song, I'm becoming conscious that there is going to be a lump. Hopefully, just above my buttocks, and that's where it's going to stay.
No,
it began to slip down across, luckily not betwixt, but down a buttock.
Why did it not go betwixt?
Well, that's the thing.
You could have clenched.
Well, that's the thing, because
and held it.
Obviously, by that point, I'm thinking, oh my god, what if it gets past my bum and slips out? Like, the wire's going to pull taut, and it's going to fuck up the mic. And what if it gets damaged? What if it, like, the wire's long enough for it to slip out the bottom and I stand on it? Oh my god, like, what's going on? And all this is going on in my head whilst I'm being like, da-da-da-da-da, like, singing a full-on song. And then it hit me when it finally did rest. Luckily, I think I managed to keep my neck taut enough that the wire wasn't loose enough for it to slip. It did rest sort of mid-thigh.
Mid-thigh?
Mid-thigh. So there was a lump mid-thigh. I then spent the rest of that night's performance bricking it that an audience member would have seen it and thought I'd shat myself. Now, this was a cream white suit. This was a cream white suit. So had a human being actually shat themselves, I think you would have noticed it.
Oh my days.
But to have just had a little turdlet floating around.
Oh.
So yeah, that's...
Fuck me.
Yeah. Plenty of things have gone wrong on TV, but none of them have been as traumatic in the moment as that.
Yeah. Theatre has a special kind of trauma. It can really put you on the spot.
Have you ever forgotten a prop?
No.
Because I think someone did we did Dorian Gray, but it was mostly physical theatre. I think a prop was forgotten that was actually important, but we just sort of like mimed it. And because there'd been physical theatre pieces in it, everyone just assumed that, oh, okay. Like, alright, they've got a knife, or whatever, that's fine. It's like, no, there's meant to be one.
No,
there's meant to be a physical fucking prop in this moment.
I don't recall ever forgetting a prop. I probably have. I've done every fucking thing else.
It's part of the fun, though. Like, it's part of the risk of being on stage, is that sometimes things can go wrong, and if you're comfortable enough in the play, in the piece, in the musical, in the set of songs you're playing, you just go with it.
Murphy's Law, innit?
Yeah. Cillian Murphy's Law. He wrote it, I believe, and posted it out.
Last email!
Oh. Cillian wouldn't like that.
Hi, Chris and Matt.
Oh my god, it's DearDavid!
Just saw Chris's tweet to say that you're recording it on the today, right now, instead of on the Wednesday. I might have to rush this one, so apologies for lack of order/grammar. I hope I'm not too late this week, otherwise you'll be reading this email next week, and that wouldn't be very good.
Have you typed all those letter O's?
No.
Or did you just extend it for the sake of creeping me out?
Just the latter.
I like it.
I thoroughly enjoyed your introduction video, Chris, on the 5 Who fans, and I also loved your alternate 10th Who fan reveal. How have you been enjoying this week without either Game of Thrones or Rick and Morty?
Well, we got Rick and Morty because of... by the time you guys have heard this, there won't be a Rick and Morty to look forward to, but obviously we're a week behind the UK, so we didn't get Rick and Morty. We've been watching them with the Netflix releases, just to make sure you guys legally have watched them all by that point.
And also just 'cause it's easier than fucking about with...
like torrents and
dodgy
everything.
torrents. And
Apparently they
stuff
go up on YouTube pretty much immediately for about an hour.
Yeah.
There are many channels that have managed
They're
to successfully
always
do
on
it.
fucking Facebook as well.
Yeah.
But...
Wubble-a-dub-dub. I've been fine. I mean, have you picked up anything now that there's been a bit of a gap in terms of...
No, I still need to finish Twin Peaks. I'm busy enough that I can not notice that these things have gone from my life. I've always got something I can fill the gap, but nothing particular. No.
We dipped into films. Lucy and I finally showed each other a film we've been wanting to show each other for ages. Lucy showed me In and Out. Have you ever seen In and Out? Kevin Kline movie from the 90s, Tom Selleck. It's a Frank Oz movie, so you know what you're in for, pretty much. Unless it's a Little Shop of Horrors, it's kind of stupid. But it has got some really nice performances and really funny lines in it.
Yeah.
Like really funny lines.
Yeah.
It's I don't think it's aged well. I think Lucy's got nostalgia glasses for it. It's about a man who basically, after one of his former a teacher who in a very white picket fencey small town America, who's beloved by the community. He's a teacher and everyone loves him. And then one of his former students wins an Oscar. And at the Oscars, like, he played a gay soldier, and he basically gives a shout out to, like, the bravest gay man he's ever known, his teacher. And he's scheduled to get married, like, 3 days later to another teacher. And they've been together 5 years, and, you know, like, they've been very traditional, like, you know, Christian romance. Like, they've not slept together, they live in different houses and all this. And suddenly the town's like, wait, are you gay? And he's like, no, I'm not. And, like, news and media start to show up and get, you know, like, fascinated with the story. And he's like, I'm not gay, I'm getting married in 3 days. And then he begins to doubt his sexuality. Because they sort of imply that he's never really been intimate with anyone, so he's never really explored physical connection before, other than, like, giving each other a kiss.
Yeah.
And it's like, he does love her, but does he love her in that way? And so he starts to question it, and Tom Selleck's a reporter who sticks around longer, because he's a gay man. He's like, I'm seeing something in you that I went through myself. And I think this is why your student believes you're gay. I can kind of see it. So it's that weird thing of, like, the town begin to react negatively toward him, and it's like they don't do enough business to say that the town is, like, very Christian or anything like that.
Yeah.
They spend more time going like, everybody loves him, so all of a sudden everybody being weird and awkward around him is like, oh well, everyone else is just a bag of dicks then, aren't they? Yeah. So it's an interesting story, but it's told by Frank Oz, so it's not like a drama with a quirky angle. It's a comedy. Yeah. So some of it is aged a bit awkwardly.
Yeah.
But Kevin Kline's central performance is amazing. And which Joan is I'm thinking of? She's in Addams Family Values, and is it Joan Cusack?
Joan Cusack.
Yeah, she's adorable. She's his wife to be. She's fucking hilarious. She's hilarious in it. She's really good in it. We kind of dug it. I'm glad she showed it me. Like, I'm definitely glad she showed it to me. There's this brilliant sequence where he's listening to, like, a How to Be More Masculine tape, like, sort of, like, force him to sort of, you know, be more of a masculine guy, because obviously it's that awkward stereotype of, you know, like, and all this and the other. But it's a funny sequence because the tape preempts everything he does. So, like, you know, he sort of, like, says, like, stand up straight, stand there, you're a man. I said a man, not a little teapot, because he's got one of his hands on his hips, he sort of, like, lowers it. It's just like, it's a very well staged sequence. Yeah. It's played brilliantly by Kevin Kline. So yeah. And I showed her Get Out.
Which is amazing.
She finally watched Get Out, which got on Blu-ray, and it's a really, like, dark black and white spine, so it stands out from your shelf like it's warning people visiting your house.
Nice.
With a subliminal message.
Nice.
What's the alternate ending? Do you know about the alternate ending?
No, what's the alternate ending?
It's the ending you thought was going to happen. Minor spoilers for the movie Get Out. Minor spoilers for the movie Get Out. When the police car pulls up at the end, what you think was going to happen does happen in the alternate ending.
Okay.
But only after he has finished the job.
Okay.
He doesn't stop. He finishes the job and the police car pulls up. And then it cuts to him in prison several months later. and his friend is visiting him, and he's like, "Look, we just need some more names, and like more of an explanation of what was going on. We can get you out of here. Like the fire burned like so much, but we can piece things together." And Chris basically just goes like, "They're not going to do it again. Like it stopped. That's enough for me." And off he goes to his cell. That weird tribal music from the beginning plays again. And then it hits the credits, and you're like, "Oh,
yeah, dark."
I prefer the ending they went with, to be honest, because the ending they went with was not what you'd expect, and this was very much what you'd expect.
All the tension, which is really nice.
We fucking handle things. Consider this situation. Fucking handle. Still a great movie. So yeah, I think we just when we have time, we fill the void with other things.
Yeah, I've got plenty to watch.
We're not really appointment TV guys, are we?
No, not really.
There's only certain shows we'll go. Yeah, we're going to watch it week by week. So, yeah. We got Rick and Morty. We'll be fine.
Matt, when do you expect we'll see DOT Season 8? There's rumours it won't be coming until 2019.
Yeah, we dabbled on this week, didn't we, briefly?
That's probably when we'll see it then. Like, they're a busy lot. It'll be done when it's done. Like, we're not really appointment TV guys. It's out when it's out, and we'll watch it then.
Yeah.
Well, I'll watch it then. You'll just live through it vicariously through me and Lucy.
There is something we can watch in the meantime to catch up on, because something's coming back much sooner than I anticipated as well. Black Mirror.
Yes.
Teaser trailer snuck out the other day.
I need to catch up on that.
And same. I think we both watched the first 2 or 3, and we need to watch the rest.
Yeah, I watched the first.
Of season 3, it is. Yeah.
2.
And you still need to watch season 2.
Yeah, I'm not season 2 yet.
Season 2 is great. But the teaser came out, and I went, "Oh God! Oh yeah," because of course it came out last year, round about October time, and it's coming out this year around October time. It's like, wait, sorry, hang on, hang on, a show that's coming out on time? That's new.
Heaven forfend.
Because I think it's because it looks so blockbustery now, you'd assume it would take longer. But, guess not.
I hope not. Will you be watching it after it comes out on Friday? How excited are you for it out of 10? I've heard it has very good reviews.
We are seeing it on Friday.
If this podcast came out on a Saturday, you'd probably be getting this on a Saturday because we'd have talked about it. But yeah, next week we'll definitely dive headfirst into it.
I'm looking forward to it. It's one of my favourite books. The early reviews have been very promising.
Yeah. Did you hear about the Sydney marketing stunt?
You told me about it, yeah.
People woke up to find red balloons strapped to all of the sewer grids and grates and drainage holes next to the pavement and everything. Occasionally there came a company with a stamp that explained, it is coming, and then September 7th or whatever, but other people would just walk up and gone, "Oh, how pretty!"
Nice.
I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot of Part 2 in the Stephen King cinematic universe.
No. When do you think the BBC will start filming Doctor Who Series 11? Because when Matt Smith was coming, they already would have been filming Series 5 this time in 2009, which led to the effective starting date of April 2010, which is why I think an autumn 2017 Series 11 start date would not be very effective at all. By then I think everyone would have stopped caring. Have a lovely time in between now and this time next week. Again, that's not to suggest that you shouldn't have a lovely rest of your life. Your Tom Monty.
What would have been nice and smart is if they'd have decided to do a shorter series for the next series. Or split it up a little. But do a Series 6 and split it up, but have it all come out next year. That way they could have started now on the first, 6, for example, which would then be out around about April. And then, the next 6 come along in the autumn in the lead up to Christmas. That would have been doable. But I suppose it depends on the crews and everything, because they will have been split up into different productions based on their role. Like, a lot of your camera ops and everybody would have been put on casualty and stuff like that, and everyone moved around and all that.
Well, there's rumours flying around that it'll come to Manchester.
I think they've been quashed. I think what's going on with the Manchester thing is I think part of maybe the administrative BBC Worldwide stuff.
Oh yeah, because the script editor's job is still set in Wales, isn't it?
Yeah, script editor job still set in Wales. Apparently there was an announcement that was meant to be made at one of the comic conventions last weekend that wasn't said out loud. So it's still rumour, take it with a grain of salt until it's confirmed by the BBC. But an announcement that was meant to be made as well is that the Doctor Who experience has found a home, and it's somewhere else in Wales.
Yeah,
and that the 12th Doctor's TARDIS is being moved there and reconstructed there as part of the experience, which says to me that they have already cleared it out of Rothlock, which says to me that they are building or have built the 13th Doctor's TARDIS.
Which means they've already shot the regeneration.
Yeah, guaranteed they'll shot the regeneration. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, because of course that'll be in the Christmas special, of course.
There's sometimes, oh no, but they could leave it to last minute. There is sometimes a gap.
Yeah.
For example, Peter Capaldi's scene in Time of the Doctor, I think, was shot like as late as sort of early December, if I remember correct. I might remember that wrong, but I'm sure it was shot.
I can believe that.
Right up to the, even though he'd been announced, I think it was something more to do with like the scene itself and la la la. It might have been Capaldi. It might have been Smith. Although Smith was shot when End of Time was being shot, because there's photos of him and David on set, which is quite rare. That isn't as common as you'd think, the two Doctors being there. Like John Pertwee turning into Tom Baker, I believe, there was some time, like shot on the same day or whatever, but it wasn't like they were both there.
Yeah.
Like they just lined
one
Tom
before
up.
lunch, one after lunch.
Yeah, Peter Davison was there at the same time, because I remember him telling a story of like he and Tom sort of didn't really talk.
Oh.
And he just sort of laid down, and he got this feeling that maybe like, oh god, like he's regretting the decision, or he's just thinking, oh, who's this young whippersnapper, or whatever. Because Eccleston and Tennant, that was shot months apart.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they wrapped in, I think, late May, and then Tennant stuff was shot in July, right near to it happening.
Well, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they nailed down whether they'd be going to do a regeneration at the end of that series.
Yeah, early in the broadcast of Series 1, that keeping in mind they were still making the end of Series 1, there was belief that, like, Chris had decided he wanted to stay, but because he didn't, he realised he was enjoying himself more than he had.
Yeah.
Thought he was going to, but then the production-y, worldwide-y, higher-up-y stuff was getting to him, and he just went, no, fuck it, I'm going to get out.
Yeah.
I'm going to get out. Russell put the regeneration back in, and it's like, oh, thank God, because he'd already sort of started talking to people. And David Tennant was definitely on his radar, because he'd made Casanova the year before for Russell T Davies on BBC 3. And he narrated the documentary. This is so meta as well.
Yeah.
Narrated the documentary that played on TV just before Rose went out.
Yeah.
There was like a half-hour documentary about Doctor Who with a countdown throughout the episode to the new episode. And David Tennant voiced over the documentary. It's like, oh, it's so weird! Because I believe by that point he didn't know that he was.
No.
But he I think had been spoken to by Russell about potentially playing it one day. So, yeah.
Why not?
All very weird.
But yeah, I mean, it'll be out when it's out.
Yeah, I'd rather have a shorter series next year if it means that it can get back to the spring schedule that it took them so bloody long to get back to.
I think spring is a better place for it.
Yeah.
Than autumn. Yeah. Personally, it's just a springy show.
Mm. And it finally got back to that this year.
Yeah.
And now, due to like the handover and the way it's being done, it's screwed that up. So unless they do a shorter series or spread the series out, we're going to be waiting till autumn, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, again, I'm fine with, because I can wait, but
I'll tell you why it's
not... better for the show if it's out in spring.
I'll tell you why it ain't moving to Manchester as well. Rothlock was built
for
Doctor Who and shows of that size. So they're not going to just suddenly go, yeah, it's off to somewhere else now. It's like, no, we built this city.
I know they want a big change, but I think that's just cutting your nose off to spite your face.
We built this city for Doctor Who.
I'm actually leaving now. That was horrendous. No, I can't do this shit. I'm done. With your bullshit.
Well, do you know what you can do with that?
What?
With that bullshit? Send it to us. BigDamnContact@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on Twitter during the week @BigDamnCast. You can also talk to us in your dreams. We'll be sat on the green rocking chair at the foot of your bed. And don't forget to check out BigDamnBlog.tumblr.com, where we're going to be posting some articles and cheeky bits and pieces. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Of course, over on the Big Damn channel. All that goodness. All that good stuff. And I'll see you later.
No, you won't.
Oh?
Because you'll be dead!
No! No! Curses!
This is for your bad jokes!
I never even learned to read! So many regrets!